Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Today, let's talk about IELTS. A few things I want to tell you about IELTS. Basically, IELTS is a test that is conducted when you are going abroad, when you want to go abroad for your higher studies. So, many countries ask you for IELTS certification. Unfortunately, there is a misconception about IELTS. People think that IELTS is a course. Remember, IELTS is not a course, it's a test. For example, you have MDCAT test or you have any kind of paper or exam, so you have to prepare for it. So, students come to me and they ask me that I should teach them IELTS. I tell them that I can't teach you IELTS. I can just prepare you for IELTS. If you want to understand IELTS and if you want to pass IELTS, you will have to go through basic communication course. You will have to complete the course in which you will improve your writing, reading, listening, and speaking. These 4 areas will be checked. Then you go for IELTS, you can pass it. There are so many students who go to academies. Unfortunately, there are some academies who claim that they teach IELTS. Don't do this, please. Yes, you can attract the students. You can earn money by these sorts of advertisements. But you are actually cheating the students. You are lying to them. You're promising that you will teach them IELTS. It's not something, it's not a course, so how you will teach IELTS? IELTS is not, it's a test. So I want to tell my students what you are doing. You have to understand English and you have to go through basic communication course. That may take 3 months, 4 months, 5 months. So right, then you go and prepare in IELTS and you just, prepare for IELTS and you appear in the IELTS test and you will pass it. Unfortunately, what our students do, so many academies, I don't know, they can get things, but I don't know how they get it. They are using short-term tricks for attracting the students because they know that most of the students want to go abroad for their higher studies. So they just put this thing in front of them. Many students, so many students will be listening to me now. And they'll agree with me that so many students went to academies, they failed their test, they can't tell people that they have failed. And they think that it was their fault. It wasn't their fault. It was the fault of the academy. Why were you telling lies to people that you can teach IELTS? Many students come to me and they offer me a good amount, they offer me a good fee that I should teach them IELTS. I tell them that if you understand English and if you can speak, read, write, and if you can understand what native speakers say, so I can prepare you even in 7 days, in 2 weeks. But if you don't know English, then how I can prepare you for IELTS? You will have to go through basic communication course. It's my message for my students that please understand, it is not a course. It is only a test for which you have to prepare. And then the preparation is basic communication course. If you don't know English, then how can you appear in IELTS? For example, let's suppose in IELTS I teach you to talk about your birthday. And you just spend all your time in preparing words and ideas for talking about birthday, and you go to IELTS test and there they ask about weather. So what will you do? They don't check your memory, they check your skill. Therefore, people get money, people do, I know that academies offer, yes, and then they share that one of their students got 7.8. Yes, that's right. But only one of the students has got. You please show me the percentage, how many students out of 100 pass the test. That one student out of 100 must have learned English properly. He would have spent time with you. He would have, if he hasn't spent time with you, he would have a good command over English. Then he appeared in IELTS exam and he passed it. So what are you doing? Yes, whenever students come to my academy and I advertise my new classes, so always I use IELTS preparation. I never say that I can't teach IELTS. I can only prepare you for IELTS. For example, you go through basic communication course in which you understand reading, writing, listening, speaking. So right, IELTS is just an exam. You're ready for that. You don't need to struggle. You don't need to spend 40 more days. In 2 weeks, just learn the method and you can pass it. Just learn how it is conducted, how IELTS is conducted. So you can pass it. But if you don't know English, unfortunately, so many students, they have come to me and they have complained that they spend too much money in Peshawar and blah, blah. I don't want to name the academies. But they come back and then they have no idea what to do next. Their money has been wasted, their time has been wasted. I don't know, then I tell them that it was your fault. First you understand what IELTS is, and then you should, appear in the test, and then they don't have many chances because, it only happens twice a year or so. It's very, I'm telling you that it's impossible to learn IELTS. It's possible to be prepared for IELTS. Thanks a lot, and I hope that my video will be taken as a positive thing. I just want to guide my students, want to guide my people that if they want to pass IELTS, so I just wanted to tell them about that what is the technique, how they will pass, and what IELTS is. Thanks a lot.